Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Icewind Dale. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
How do you do there?
Hi.
So, last we left off, as you guys had finally entered Goodmead proper, you all basically split up to gather clues, as it were. And you all had varying degrees of success, let's just say. Some even completely went off the rails. But to recap, Nick went ahead and interviewed Shandar, one of the two major candidates for the upcoming election for the new, or Shadar, rather. Oh, no, wait, it's Shandar, I remember, because I misspelled it the first time. Yeah, you went, interviewed Shandar, a dwarf and one of the loggers in town, who is rather popular, albeit, kind of boisterous and loud in a way, which, he has a big go-getter personality. And you interviewed him about some things, and you also pressed him about the Zentarium, and he feigned ignorance, but that's up for you to decide. And also, you get a whisper, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Alonzo went ahead and talked with the local beekeeper, a sort of crestfallen halfling by the name of Yarver, to give her information about him. And through it all, you ended up interviewing the queen bee, who turns out found the rest of her workers wanting, and specifically wanted him to be the one to bring the next generation of the hive into the world. But unfortunately, Yarver is very much a self-taught druid with a natural affinity towards it. A druid without a grove, I believe, is the exact words I used at the time. So Alonso has taken it upon himself to sort of take him under his wings so that he can get to next level, wild shape, and then, yeah, don't worry about it.
Do whatever he
Yeah,
wants.
don't worry about it.
Exactly.
I mean, if you give me 2 levels right now, I can just cast Polymorph on him.
Oh, God!
Can I just have 2 levels, like, for free right now?
Maybe if you pray to Saloon hard enough, I don't know. Embers, you went ahead and checked out the local tavern, which was pretty lively, except for one hooded figure in particular. You ended up flirting with the apprentice bartender, a dragonborn whose name is, please help me with this.
I don't remember. Checking
Gray?
notes. Checking notes, hang on.
Yeah.
His name is... Apprentice Nerd.
Was it Shendor?
Ran by a male red dragonborn. Young apprentice nerd. Spot. Shendor. Yeah.
Yes, got it right. To which you flustered him so hard into giving him some tips, since you also have a background in running a tavern. Zeke, you actually ended up tracking some folk into an alleyway by faking your blindness, and found out a dastardly conspiracy to make Shandar not only even more popular with the locals, but a surefire lock to win this election, as there would be some Zentarium agents that were planning on going to the tavern late at night, cause a ruckus and whatnot, only for Shandar to essentially come in, shoo them off, and look like a hero in the process. But those two agents, as you know, that plan was already sort of compromised by the ambushers that got ambushed on the way over here. You ended up letting those two go, and there are now 2 less people that are involved in this conspiracy. As to how many left there are, you have no idea. And of course, we come to Merkin last for dramatic effect, of course.
Yeah.
Merkin, you went over to the local shrine of Tempest, the Faerunian god of war to check out the body of the previously deceased townspeaker to examine for clues, check out the wounds. You noticed that the wounds themselves, if I recall correctly, had a very particular glint that suggested that there was a shard of ice still embedded into the corpse. So afterwards, you asked the keeper of the shrine, who also was quite a character, let's just say.
Yes.
Um, hold on one second. Sorry, I'm just looking through, because I know I messaged you the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you asked the shrine keeper to ask, was there anybody who came here before? And he was telling you about how, like, a few weeks ago, you can correct me on exact days that I said Gray, but a few weeks ago, there was a Cold Cloak, a representative of the cult of Oral, that came in and did the usual sacrifices to Oral propaganda and whatnot. When you asked him for a name, he responded with...
All right, hang on.
Checking.
I need the. I have it. I just need to like find the note. Oh, Grulon was the name.
Grulon, thank you. And upon hearing that name, you went into a full-blown seizure as your brain was violently trying to remember things. In fact, you actually suffered psychic damage that was thankfully healed right away. As Embers found you in your very debilitated state and dragged you back into the inn, where everyone is now reconvened. And that's where we're going to pick off from there, as Merkin, after this violent, surge of memories that, despite everything, you only got to latch onto a few, which could still be important. You awake back to consciousness with a point of exhaustion.
Hey, you okay?
Nick is trying to force feed you good berries.
We're so back! We're back!
Meanwhile, I have some like actual hot soup for you if you want that instead.
Yeah, Merkin has like gravitated to the soup.
It's broth.
No offense to Nick, but
Telltale
Soup is
Games.
good.
Nick will remember that.
You're hurt. You need healing.
I can heal him too, but
perhaps if you gave up smoking, I might consider.
damn.
Yes, you did Wither and Bloom. So yeah, so
Both withered and blue.
As Zeke comes in, gets right in Merkin's
oh
face.
yeah,
I'm like, okay, who's the screwball that hurt you? Where are they? I want names.
Merkin just kind of like groggily just kind of points to his own head. I'm not actually sure how this happened, truthfully. It's complicated, but I
don't think he was attacked. I found him in the snow having a seizure. Something must have happened in his mind.
that
Oh,
sounds
PTSD.
about right.
Okay, that checks.
I can't kill someone who isn't here.
Well,
I can't kill mental illness.
he just points to Merkin's brain and goes, "You did this."
You did that.
Stop
you.
making my friend sad.
he gets off his bow and arrow, just points it at Merkin's head, and it's just like, I need you to stop making my friend feel bad.
Zeke. Down boy.
Easy, Zeke. Embers kind of like slowly cozies up to Ezekiel and puts soft paw pads on his shoulders. You just gotta let him rest. This isn't anybody's fault. He just needs some time.
Oh, but there's no killing when that happens. Somebody needs to die for transgressions.
Well, I can tell you about somebody you might have to kill later if it'll make you feel any better.
His ears perk up. All right, hold on. You have my
All right, yo, hold up.
Not to distract from what happened to Market, as he is also feeding soup as he speaks. I found some suspicious goings on in the tavern I went to that was by this house.
Huh?
It reeked of interlopers. I even saw like that stereotypical thing that they do in fantasy books about this kind of stuff, where somebody was sitting in the tavern in a cloak.
Oh.
You mean the very obvious thing of like, "Don't look at me" sign? That?
Yeah, that happens
Wait,
in so many adventure novels. I didn't think somebody would actually do that.
That's
Austin
because
and I have read like 12 of those. You would think they would stop doing it by this point.
it's such a cliche.
I mean, maybe they just think it's fashionable.
It's
You
really
all take
not.
1d6 damage. I'm just kidding.
Fashionable.
And upon hearing the suspicious, upon hearing the idea of interlopers, Zeke also, tries to whisper to the others, and it's like, that's not the only thing that's going on. There were 2 screwballs who were with the other screwballs that tried to ambush us on our way here.
Oh.
Specifically, they were here to cause a ruckus in public to try and make one of the candidates look good. That dude that you went to go talk with, Boss Man.
Chandar?
So, something really unusual is going on here.
I talked to the bees. Trees.
Yeah, how did that go? Animals usually have really insightful things to say, I bet.
Yeah. But I met like the singular beekeeper, which is surprising for this town. And he's a fledgling druid, so I was showing him some things. I think as long as I get him to a certain skill level before I leave this town, this should be fine. Sweats.
Alonso, are you alright? You look very flush.
Just it's always difficult around royalty in their weird ways.
Oh, I know. Do you want me to go and fight the druid?
No, please don't.
What?
I would let him win. Jeez.
No. Well. Would that work? Would that count as experience?
Yeah, so
I mean,
above
you-
table, I literally am only going based off of like that one episode in very early Pokemon where the
Gosh.
Paris was
Maybe
fighting
just
the
static gold.
Charmeleon.
I mean,
You could certainly try.
that does bring up a very, very concerning topic because there are wizard schools, well, that just kind of joins the stereotype. Is like, hey, you want to get better at magic? You need to go out in the woods and go kill a bunch of goblins.
Certainly not
It's
goblins.
Rat grinders are a commentary on this for Fantasy High.
But yeah, so okay, I need to just kind of outright say, like, this feels like I was going insane hearing this. But so the queen of the hive, her name's Scotty, by the way. She's getting up there in years, but she doesn't want to produce another queen with any of the workers that she has. So she wants the beekeeper Yarver to do it, but he obviously can't right now.
As
Oh, so you can't get it up.
No.
Alonso is sharing this story, Embers is like there's a shit-eating grin that is slowly growing across his face, and he covers his mouth as he's listening.
It's like, no, Nick, he's not a bee, so he can't do it. So I have to teach him how to do that, like how to become a bee.
Meanwhile, at the mention of all this, Merkin is just like, I'm going back to bed.
Yeah,
No!
during this whole time, Merkin is just like, you feel an overwhelmingly tired.
No! We need to make sure you don't have a concussion!
Also, what did you
Oh,
find
it's
out?
fine, take a drink. Ugh. Right.
Can I do a medicine check on him?
Please.
John?
Can I
Huh?
assist?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, sure.
Also, Christy's not far away.
Fuck.
Guidance on myself, too.
Alright.
Is this
I
better?
got, he got
Yes.
assistance from, he said he gave me assistance, so... Oh, actually,
Alright,
Did
20.
better.
roll the guidance. No, not Eol, roll.
Yo.
23.
Alright,
Start
so
yodeling.
23. So it's very clear Merkin just had gone through a seizure, and through your rudimentary knowledge of like first aid and other like basic non-magical like healing, the best way to just really heal from a seizure is really just to make sure he's fed, hydrated, and gets a good night's sleep. He did not suffer a concussion, so you know that for sure. So he is allowed to just go to sleep.
Fuck. Alright, you're
In
clear.
Chinese.
You're clear. It's still distressing what happened to you, though.
Well,
Oh, right. Excuse me, I'm fading in and out a little.
No!
Alonzo was frantically like, "No, don't go into the light!"
Please, I won't be doing that until I figure out what the hell is going on in my head.
You shouldn't do it after that either!
Well, no, I know. You know what I'm trying to say. Calm down.
Just like big anime welled up eyes.
Merkin has a little bit of a sad smile as he tries to kind of like reach up and pat him.
Pat,
Then he just resorts to a mage hand instead.
Oh, that feels not as personal.
Listen, this is as personal as you're going to get at the moment. Imagine that Cypher.
His hand is cold. It doesn't mean it's not the same.
My hand will be cold. What are you talking about?
Well, anyways, I'm glad you're doing somewhat better, I hope.
Mm. I have a headache.
Come on, big guy.
What
Let's get you to bed.
Mm.
As Zeke is going to try and help Merkin up to lodging quarters.
Yeah. And for like the sake of relaying information, I will say that like Merkin does like relay what little bit he found out, but maybe kind of like keep a lid on like why he just had a freaking seizure in the middle of the snow for now
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah,
Fair
above
enough.
table. I certainly hope just saying the name doesn't like permanently continuously give him exhaustion and 6 psychic damage every single time.
Jesus.
I will say above table, no. Saying that name aloud will not like continuously seizure him like a trigger word or something.
Yeah, it's just like the last thing we need is for him to just say deactivate, and all of a sudden he just goes, it just falls to the floor.
Yeah, this
God.
isn't like a Winter Soldier thing. It's like he heard it once, he had his episode, and now he's okay, quote unquote.
Yay.
For now.
All right,
Oh no.
and with Merkin safely resting, Zeke tries to make his way back to the others and is like, okay, so what are we gonna do?
well, from what I was able to inquiry, our dwarvish friend doesn't seem like a bad guy. He just seems to be caught up in the wrong crowd.
Yeah, well, I got 2 bozos that pretty much confirms that.
Do you think he'd be a good leader, though? Or is he just kind of doing this for the fun of it?
I think he's doing this because he owes a debt.
Oh.
It didn't even sound like it was for the fun of it. Sounds like he's being manipulated into being used like a puppet.
Exactly.
So, does that mean we throw all our lot with Olavessa? Has anyone actually met her yet?
We haven't gotten a chance to really meet with her yet, so...
So you haven't talked to her yet, but I believe in particular, Alonso, when you talked with Yarver and the bees, they seem to favor her.
Yeah, I'll mention that. So, yeah, so I did talk to Yarver, the fledgling druid, and even the bees liked her. Like, her family's been here since the founding of Good Meat. So there's definitely some tradition there.
I think before we bring up the greater issues of this town, we should get a feel on her too. I wouldn't be surprised if she was also hiding some dark secrets.
Nominate the queen bee to be
Nominate the
Nominate
queen
Yarver.
bee.
No, not
Oh,
Yarver.
no.
The queen bee.
Yes, let's nominate Scothy, and she'll transform. She'll transform this place into a Stephen King like hive, where
It'll be-
anyone who passes through is just in a ginormous web of nonsense.
It'll be efficient though. It's a beehive.
That is true. They do live a very efficient life. Above Table B movie. Anyway,
Oh God. Yeah. So, what time is it above table, John?
I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong again, Gray, but like, when the session ended, it was about like roughly like 3 p.m.
Yeah, it was definitely good in the afternoon. So we have some time to maybe catch her for like afternoon tea or some bullshit. But Nick does want to put an idea through first, as he says. All right, so there is one concern. So our good, well, I say those heavy quotation marks. Our good friend, Maxaville, or whatever the fuck his name is. It sounds as though he's put a lot of investment into trying to extend his control. I'm worried what will happen to our dwarf friend if he doesn't make it.
Could just, I don't know, hide him. Maybe we could send him to the Dwarven Valley.
How's that?
We keep asking them to like hide fugitives.
Well, it's not gonna be like the same as just hiding someone in a dwarven valley. People like him are very hard to shake. Which is...
Well, said he seemed kind of shook up about becoming the Seeker, right? Once he knew what that all entailed.
He certainly doesn't seem like he was very up for all of the stuff that's gonna follow. But I suppose before we put our lot in, we should see what the other candidate is. But I do think he is someone worth helping.
I'm inclined to agree.
Maybe when we get the chance, we can confront him. We have enough witnesses to, or well, enough evidence to know that he's in bed with some shady shite. If we maybe confront him and say, "Hey, let's maybe work this out a little bit more instead of you jumping in too deep."
Still need to talk to Olivessa just to see what her deal is.
Also, the previous speaker wasn't. Well, yes, they were murdered, but from what Merkin told us, it sounds like it was one of the fucking Cold Cloaks.
Oh.
The cold cloaks?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
man had a piece of fucking ice shard, the similar to Sevik's blade, jammed into his chest.
Oof.
Why can't we find normal people every time we come through these towns? Says the bat that has no eyes.
I mean,
Because that would make adventures much less interesting, my furred friend.
Also, Icewind Dale's kind of cut off from the world, so they kind of only have a small cast of characters for us to interact with.
Also that.
So, yeah, should we go meet Miss Olivessa before it gets too late, or...
I'd say let's do that. If I had to take a guess of what that skulking asshole was up about, that Ember spotted, I don't think they'll be doing anything until, at the very least, people are around. I think that may be the what was left of the people that Zeke scared off.
Yeah, the bozos that I ran out of town said that they were planning to do something. They were planning to do something, but I don't know if they were the only guys. Hopefully, there aren't too many afterwards. And hopefully, we can get it resolved without making our dwarven friend look like the hero.
Couldn't we just do it?
I mean, I think that's kind of the plan. We just beat the shite. It sounds like there's just one person left.
Well, like, if they make a scene, I don't know what that would entail, but if we were the ones to solve it before Shandar gets there, or we even, like, sabotage him getting there, that would make us the people that have a bit of power here.
And we can tell everyone it was Olivessa Duchesne who hired us to do it, potentially.
Well, we need to go meet her first just to see what her deal is. We might not like her either.
Right.
I'm
Oh, wait,
hoping
no,
that's
I'm not
not
in
the
the scene.
case.
But first,
could be.
Merc needs to rest.
Say it one more time, members.
I said you could be when Will said I'm not in this scene.
I'm resting. I'm not in this scene.
Honk shoeing over there.
Honk shoe.
Honk shoe. Honk shoe.
Don't you believe it?
Believe it.
Cypher is just watching you sleep like, I don't remember him doing this. But then
It's the
again, I don't really
concussion.
remember a lot of things.
Pat.
Exactly.
All right,
Don't
looks
poop
like we got our plan.
Should someone stay here with Merkin while you rest, or...
I think I'd be more at peace to do that. Especially given that I found somebody shady not too far from here.
But you're so sociable.
Yes. But right now a friend needs me. I can be social another time.
Zeke is just like, I'm standing right here.
Are you telling me you'd rather?
You're also very sociable. You also scare a lot of people.
Is it because he's warm? Is that it? It's because he's warm, isn't it?
You're warm too, in your own way.
I don't know, your heat's a little more intense than mine is sometimes.
If I could wild shape into a puddle, I would.
No.
That's
Alright, so I'll go ahead and ask. If you want somebody to check on Merkin as he's resting, which one of you is going to sit by, and who's gonna sit out talking with Olivessa, pretty much?
Olivessa. Nick would like to be on the Olivessa team.
same with Alonso.
As much as I would like to talk to all of us, somebody needs to stay behind and look after Merkin.
Alright,
So it'll be
If
So you-
if Embers is volunteering to watch after Merkin, then I will join the boys and go in to see Olivessa.
Alright, don't worry, Chris, I will get back to you and Will.
Alrighty.
Alright, so, with Embers on, caretaking duty for the now early sleeping Merkin, the rest of you all, Nick, Alonzo, and Zeke, you are, based on the information that you have learned, I believe Her house is, I think I pinged here.
Oh, okay, all
But
right.
I'm not
So-
sure.
Oh,
So if you remember anything, you let me know. Otherwise, I'll ping a spot that seems pretty okay.
my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
What?
to take your spot. No, no, no. I took Alonso's spot, and I was trying to move
And
politely.
then I was trying to move, and we just kept moving into each other.
They're on
I'll
the same
probably
wavelength.
ping this one.
Okay.
I will stand here.
Menacingly.
Nick, join us.
Alright, so, Nick, Alonso, and Merkin. You head up to a homely little manor that you are told is the residence of Olivessa Untapor, who is the other opposing candidate for the new town speaker of Goodmead. As you approach the front door, I would like everybody to go ahead and make me a perception check.
Cool.
Already.
Nat 20, because I have my shield that gives me advantage on perception checks.
All right. Alonso, you hear the sounds of grinding and carving wood as you approach the front door.
like a lathe or something?
Like a what, sorry?
A lathe. It's like that. It's like a tool you use to carve, shave down like really big like logs of wood.
A little... Actually, you know what? Yes. But it's sort of infrequent. It sounds like whatever tool this is being done by hand.
Oh, so like a gouge.
Sure. You know words more than me.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a type of tool for wood carving and such.
All right. Who knocks?
Sorry, that gasp was of pure excitement.
Jesus Christ.
She's old. Don't give her a heart attack.
That was
It's cold out, and I don't want to stand out longer than we have to.
That's
All
why you
right.
tie your coat tighter.
But for real, are we having Nick knock or somebody else?
Nick was definitely the one that knocked.
He
I may have
definitely
had the excitement, but Nick was the one that knocked.
I'm the one that
He's
knocks.
the one who knocks. God damn it.
Alright, so you knock the door, you hear the carving immediately stop and say, it's unlocked. Go ahead and open it.
Click. Good evening.
As you come in, you see again, like a very homely little, manor. It's a bit bigger than the rest of the houses here in, Goodmead. In fact, you can tell there's sort of like a vintageness to it. Like, it looks visibly a bit older than the rest.
Founding family.
But yeah, as you come inside, it's very cozy in a way. Like, it has that sort of like vintage grandma feel to it.
Oh.
As you like sort of come inside, you actually look towards the living room to your left, and you see a relatively middle-aged looking female human with a bit of a... One second. Just so I understand. Hold on.
A bit of honey.
That would be adorable.
Like some nice honey iced tea in summer.
Sugar honey iced tea?
Sugar honey iced tea.
Sugar honey iced
Yeah.
This stuff smells like cough syrup
to
and
your
peppermint.
surprise.
Oh.
Yeah. To your surprise, this human woman actually has like tan skin. She, like the rest of most of Icewind Dale's population, don't look native to Icewind Dale. In fact, as you get a good look at her, she actually kind of looks almost kind of like she's from a tropical biome almost, or at least her skin suggests that sort of ancestry. You look at her and she's actually in the middle of like trying to carve together a barrel.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, don't mind me. I'm almost about to finish up here. And you see again, she gets her gouge and she's sort of like carving it into you know, the cylinder shape of a cask barrel. This looks like it would go straight into the tavern. In fact, there is an outline of the logo of the tavern that only the outline exists, but not the paint.
Good evening.
Hello, to whom do I owe the pleasure?
Guys, we gotta get a name.
What?
Oh,
Well, my name is Alonzo. This is my friends Nick and Ezekiel, or Zeke for short. We're new in town. We're actually on a rather urgent mission from other speakers who met in Brimshander recently.
At first she looks at all three of you and goes, "My, you're quite the cast of characters. But official business, you say? I'm not exactly speaker."
Well, no, but you're one of the candidates, so we assume we would at least inform you about it.
She kind of looks to the side as you say and they go, "Yeah, I am."
I forget above table. Did you show create show the dwarf guy the letter that we have to show all the speakers?
I believe yes.
Cool. So we can show her the letter as well.
yes.
Yeah. You show all of us the letter. She actually has to like take off some gloves to like properly look at it, and you see like her hands are rather daintily for, that suggests sort of like a socialite, which is weird because Alonzo, the thing that you were told was, she was sort of like a bit of a socialite around town, one of the older women that, speak of gossip, and yet here she is sort of like being a Cooper, which, by the way, I looked it up. Cooper is an actual, like, occupation. They are designed to make like barrels and cups and anything that is used for like utensils.
Interesting.
Was that Sly Cooper's family's front business?
God fucking damn it.
Maybe.
God.
Imagine.
I mean, he does travel in barrels a lot in his games.
I mean, listen, I would like that as a twist. Where, but yeah,
Anyways.
so you see her take a look at the letter, and she actually seems a little frightened as she reads it, and he goes, "Oh, this is quite distressing, if I must say.
Yeah.
Who else have you talked with?"
So far, just fuck.
We've informed Dogan's Hole just before you. Also, the far north, Brimshander, Targos, and fuck, what was the name?
Well, Lonely Woods 1, Targos, Tourmaline.
What's the one that has your boyfriend at?
Kaer Koenig?
Yes.
Oh yeah, with Trovis. Not my boyfriend.
I'm not your boyfriend.
I'm not your boyfriend.
Well,
Same.
sounds like you're taking a whole sweep of the eastern side. I am truly sorry that you had to be the ones to do this.
No, we volunteered.
Well, that's nice to hear. Um, I apologize, but, I'm not exactly a town speaker yet, and honestly, it doesn't seem like I'm going to be one anyway, but I appreciate you coming to me for this information.
Well, hey, don't count yourself short. There's still time.
Yeah, when is the election, actually?
Oh, it is, roughly about 4 or 5 days from now.
I mean, do you have
We
any
had to
advice?
do a lot of things in check. Hold a proper funeral for the previous town speaker, try and figure out how we could recoup losses from all that meat that got stolen, that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, that did happen. What if we found it for you?
That would greatly help out the rest of town because the bees are trying their hardest, but we had plenty of reserves. And now they're gone, and we don't really know if they've already been, well, drunken, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Do we know what stole it? It was that thing that killed the speaker, right?
It was stolen, supposedly, by a Veerbig. The story that you were told was that the previous town speaker was woken up by the sound of this Veerbig trying to steal it. He tried to chase him and, wrestle him back control of it, and he died in the process.
Ooh.
Aye, we've also took a little bit of time to investigate that. Tell me,
Are you gonna go out and try and find it yourselves?
that would be a good lead. That would probably that would be for the best. At least getting a hunting party out there to remove this issue.
I don't know about that. There's already been one that tried to go down there before, and we haven't heard from them back, so the town just sort of stopped focusing on that for a while because there's no real leadership back in Goodmead yet.
Well, that makes sense. It is. Without a leader, not a lot of people really know which direction to start accelerating to. So, with that in mind, why did you decide to throw your hat in for the race?
She actually sort of like gives a bit of a nervous chuckle as she says that and goes, well, I originally didn't want to throw my hat in, but my friends, my neighbors, sort of talked me into it. Really, that Shaddar fellow was the only one who seemed enthused about doing it. And, well, it wouldn't really be much of an election if nobody, nobody else tried to compete against him for the votes of the people, so my friends talked me into it because my family is one of the original, is part of the original settlers of Goodmead.
Alright, then you have some traditional values to have appeal for.
Yes, but I wouldn't exactly considered myself, skilled in statecraft or anything like that.
Well, I'd say as long as you can inspire people, that would be something.
Go ahead and everybody go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Then
Oh my
my
goodness!
owl
Come
eyes.
on.
My owl eyes
Jeez,
see all.
us.
I have the better
My
I
bet-
have the better score.
My
I don't see any scores yet.
Oh,
I have a +8, but Alonzo only has a +7. Me.
My +2 is not
So-
pushing me forward.
So 24, 8, 13?
Yep.
Okay. So, Ezekiel, you're
Actually,
kind of
Alonzo.
immediately disqualified from this
Yep.
because this requires sight. And not just like sight from like reading body language. No, I'm talking about like objects in the room.
Dang nablet.
Nick and Alonzo, as she's sort of like mulling over, just going through the whole rigmarole again of, it's like, oh, well, don't sell yourself short. Who knows what will happen if you try it? There's a long, awkward silence as she's just sort of like visibly is just like, all right, whatever you say. You look through, you're just sort of like taking a look around this living room as you've settled in talking with her. You notice that there is portraits on the walls of a very sort of like tropical looking family that were sort of like commissioned from maybe other patriarchs and matriarchs of this family from many years ago. You notice that the portraits, or at least the people in the portraits, has been getting smaller and smaller, and eventually you see one that is just her, or at least what you assume is a child Olivessa with just her two parents. And that's as far as it goes.
I suppose.
Why did you? Sorry.
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Alonzo just like looking at the portraits, like, so why did your family move to Icewind? Where were you from before?
We were from Chult originally.
Why did they move?
Well, it's a, well, I guess I might as well ask this, because I've never seen Chult from my own eyes, but how many of you have heard about Chult?
History, nature, something?
History.
Okay.
Great. So 13 plus.
One.
All right,
14.
14, 11, 7. Um,
My idiocy is showing.
the best
sorry.
that you know about Chult is that they are sort of like, they are a peninsula far, far away from here. Like, if like Icewind Dale is the far north, Chult would basically be like a peninsula on the equator. Like, it is a, it's a big tropical jungle place. As she'll go ahead and say, Chult is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. At least that's the stories of my family that would tell me anyway. And I'm not the only Chult immigrant here, of course.
Oh.
But yeah, as far as I'm aware, there is also some Chult people who originated from Chult in Lonelywood as well.
Oh.
Or sorry, Dogensol. Sorry, Dogensol. As she'll say. In fact, I don't know the details of it, but I was told there is something called a temple of elemental evil, and that's all sorts of bad news. So, me and several other families, like many people who seem to come to Icewind Dale, moved all the way up here to an untamed land to make their own fortune. And my family, as well as a few others, were the founders of Goodmead.
So I'd say they've done relatively well for themselves.
I would say so. The bees are sort of an import.
Yeah, I
They've
noticed. met with them earlier.
Oh, you did? Oh, wonderful. Uh, did they like the flowers that I put out a few days ago?
They said they appreciate a lot of things you do for them.
Oh, that's wonderful. Tell them I appreciate all of them, especially for keeping the winter daffodils going.
By the way, the queen's name is Scotty, is what she told me.
Oh, really? I just assumed Yarver just took care of them and that was it. I never knew they had such names. It's such a striking name, too. I think it suits her.
Yeah, I spoke to her. I'm a druid. You couldn't tell.
I might have had a feeling. It looked as though, like, you're halfway between what are those things that I've heard druids do?
Wild shape?
Yes.
No,
I think.
I just look like this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry you look
Why?
like that.
Why?
Why are you sorry?
Why are you so mean?
It's perfectly fine. You don't need to be sorry. I look like this too. The bat walks forward, no eyes, smiles, flaps ears. Eh.
Oh, hello again. I are you blind?
Well, I mean, yeah, I am technically,
Oh,
but
gosh, I'm so sorry for that.
Wow.
it's a good thing I can still see using these. And he gestures to where his ears are.
Oh, echolocation, I think it's called. I remember Cholt has bats. Are you from there by any chance?
Uh, not me, no.
So we both look for like backstory. Go.
He goes, well, it was worth a shot. I'm far divorced from Cholt. All I know is the cold here, like most people.
Well, I may not be from Schultz, and I don't know if the bats kind of look like me. I can only assume that they probably look prettier. But I try my best with what I have, and I'm thankful for the friends I've made along the way. And he looks over to Nick and Alonzo.
Hey.
You hear like a very audible "aw" as she hears you say that.
So, back on topic. It seems as though, respectfully, it doesn't seem like you have much, your heart much into this actual
Election.
election.
No offense taken. You're pretty much right on the money. I just don't really know what I would offer, but I've already entered my name in, so it's a bit too late to reconsider.
So, do you think the dwarf?
Sure.
Oh,
Sorry.
Does it mean you think the
Sure.
dwarf lad is suitable?
Good fit.
Well, from what I know of him, he is loud and obnoxious and a bit
Oh.
of a brute and an oaf, but as far as I've known him, there is, a semblance of character in there despite all that. I just feel that he is more of a newcomer to Goodmead than most of us, and I feel personally that having him be a townspeaker would, and this is just the musings of an older woman, but don't mind me with this, but I feel it might start a bit of a snowball effect where we kind of just sort of lose our cultural identity, since he never really grew up in Goodmead and whatnot. Not to say that he isn't, upstanding or whatever, but he doesn't really represent good mead.
Alright, so that's definitely a point. Put yourself in this election for. Said he was a newcomer? How new in town is he?
Let me think for a second as I go ahead and consult the book.
Consult the ancient tome. Oh, about a week.
Could you fucking imagine if it was?
She just drops the gradient. It's just like, hey, it's about a week. You know how it is.
But
Oh
our
my
culture. Okay, how long have you known this culture? About a week.
Oh god.
Sorry, didn't mean to blast you like that. It was just the moment
Oh,
definitely
God.
presented itself.
So, she'll go ahead and say, well, he only came here about 2 or 3 years ago.
Know where he came from?
He doesn't really talk about that.
Oh. Seems odd.
I mean,
I
it's
imagine.
Icewind Dale. We don't exactly question the sort of things, only the fact because really all that's in common with any of the newcomers is that they come to Icewind Dale to either seek their fortunes or settle down, so I don't imagine he's any different.
In the rough 2 years that he's been here, has he talked to unusual characters? I can only assume that being a logger, he probably meets like 1 or 2 individuals, but any, I guess, unfavorable characters?
I'm gonna roll something for her.
Ooh.
Alright, so I'll tell you this, like above table. The DC that she needs to beat for this is 13. But
I
she
believe in
has civilian stats, so at the very most, she gets a +1 to this. So if any of you want to add to this, you can.
Guidance?
Alright,
You-
guiding
you-
her.
You give her a friendly rub on her shoulder. Is there any unfavorable individuals?
Look at my
So
Reach into
I'll
the
go
recess.
ahead and
Look
yeah.
at my smiling face. That fills you with determination. Have advantage.
Topical. But yeah, I'll
Admire
say
this
go
man's
ahead and
glorious mustache.
yeah, I'll say go ahead and roll me the guidance first.
Okay. Three.
Hey,
All right,
really
so
good.
a 3. So on a 9 or higher, you get something.
Alrighty.
Do it.
It's an 11.
Yeah!
She, cups her chin, thinks about it, and goes, well, now that I mention it, about every few weeks or so, he sort of leaves town and takes a trip somewhere.
Ear twitch, ear twitch.
I don't know where exactly, but I assume, based on where we're positioned in Icewind Dale, it's somewhere west.
What's to the west?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Here is the world map for, reference sake. Good meat is over here, so west is everywhere, like, around here.
So he
Oh.
would either be going to Bryn Shander, Targos, I mean possibly Tourmaline, Lonelywood, Bremen, things
Or
like
this-
that. But
or this forest right here.
or yeah, the forest. But
Takes him about 3 or 4 days to get back.
and he's done this in a habit, right?
Every month, you said.
Every month since he's been here, yes.
And out of curiosity, has he done it this month?
He just came back from it about a few days before the speaker died in that terrible tragedy.
Oh no.
All of us. All of us.
If
all of us.
Ezekiel had eyes, they'd be blinking furiously, like, you don't say.
All of us have that press X to prompts. Now prompt come up. Huh.
That's very... What a coincidence.
Interesting.
I'm sorry. What do you mean?
Now, I want to express that this is purely conjecture. Just from the general vibe that we've been gathering, we don't want to say anything without solid evidence. But seeing as our business is to see to it that the speaker provides proper aid for the upcoming events, we want to make sure that the right person is put into this position. In fact, it's within everyone's best interest that the most appropriate speaker is, well, steps forward.
Yeah.
We may be believing that old Shandor may not be the exemplary citizen as he claims to be.
Or he's being coerced.
Goodness me, you sure about this?
Well, from the evidence that we've gathered, we were actually attacked by some bandits on our way from Dogan's Hole to Goodmead. We managed to get a little bit of an interrogation off of them, and turns out they were actually trying to rig the election.
You can actually see her, like, literally clutch her pearls, like old lady style, as you're saying this.
It's like, it can't be.
Hey, I knew him to be loud and, all that, but he would do anything for the friends that he made here. Surely you must be mistaken.
Unfortunately, I have it on good faith that what we're saying is true. There were some individuals that I met in town that confirms that there may or may not be an altercation in the pub area to which he and his companions are supposed to break up and make him look
Heroic.
basically about as much of a winner as he could look.
Additionally,
Mm-hmm.
I managed to get a little bit of an interview with him. I managed to show him this as I pull out the sigil.
The sigil of the Zentarium.
Zentarian, yeah.
She looks at it and goes, I don't know what that is.
This is a sigil of a very powerful thieves guild.
Hold on one second.
Is Granny also in the Mafia?
Yeah,
Initially coming in here, I wanted to whisper to Alonso, and it's like, is she one of those grannies that does BMX, motocross,
I mean, you
has
did
muscle?
catch her wood carving a cask.
Is she effing metal as F?
She's like the granny from Hoodwinked that does extreme sports in her.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I'm just imagining her in the shitty CG now.
Although
But yeah,
those double black diamond skiing.
yeah, Alonso, she has given you the impression that she has been nothing but honest with you, pretty much the whole time. So whenever, you don't get any indication that she's lying when she says she hasn't seen this before.
My eyes unnarrow.
But yeah, you tell her, that it's, a major thieves guild here, and goes, oh, Um, uh, how major are we talking? I know there is some rapscallions in the bigger cities here in the 10 towns, but none really here. We don't really have much to offer except the mead.
It's, it is a little strange. We have an idea of who exactly he's going to, but like I said, it's simply conjecture. That being said, I think more so he's being coerced into aiming for this position.
Goodness, what for?
Political power. If some mafia boss places you into a position of political power, then by extension, they have that political power. It's all business at the end of the day. More than likely, they want to probably start up a... Well, if I were in that position, I would probably be putting a more of a trade on the honey that's here.
Alonzo, continuing with that 23 in insight, as Nick is telling her this, you see her sort of like, you know that like really sunken look Shinji has where it's like the zoom in on his face, you know, that whole thing?
Shinji?
Yeah, you know, from Evangelion.
Oh, the psychopath zoom in.
The fisheye lens.
Yeah, as, you know, as it's slowly dawning on her that it's like, she put her hat in because, it's like, oh, her friends put her up to it. It's not going to amount to anything. And now you're basically telling her that literally the fate of Goodmead, hangs in the fucking balance regarding this election. And now she is the only person that could possibly beat him, and now she's like, fuck.
Terrify.
It's not our intent to make you worry. Just
We're gonna give this poor woman a heart attack.
Oh no, it has anxiety.
Oh, good heavens.
This is...
Would you like?
I have no reason to not believe you, but this is a lot.
Yeah.
I have to think about this, because if what you're saying is true and he gets elected, then Goodmead is really, really going to change for the worse.
Be reduced to nothing more than a massive smuggling den.
Surely there has to be... I don't know about you, but as much as I find him annoying, I don't think he's a bad person or something. I don't know.
Like I said, I don't believe he's a bad person. I just think he got into... Like you said, he doesn't talk about his previous life that much. It must be the main reason why he didn't. He must have been tracked down, or placed here a long time ago, as a feeler. Now he's being forced to call in a debt.
Well, if what you're saying is true, and I have no reason not to believe any of you, I guess I really, really should be taking this seriously. I'll have to think about this.
I mean, I think you already offer a lot to this town. As I look to her, like, woodworking.
Yeah, you look at the cask, and even though it's right about to be finished, it's like, it looks pretty pristine in the craft. Like, you wouldn't expect this, older woman to be, rather proficient in this I don't want to say like dirty job or anything, but it's not necessarily what you would think, a older socialite woman would be good at.
Everyone's got to have a hobby.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, it seems like you're an expert at what you're doing there. And like you said, your family is one of the oldest here in Goodmead. So maybe you lean into that more and how much you can offer the town by what's still here. Like, the bees are still going strong and should remain strong if everything goes according to plan. But,
We all just kind of not look her in the eye.
it's like, yeah, that should still be fine. But if you think perhaps finding this lost, thing of mead, or at least bringing the culprit slash force of nature, whatever, to justice would help, maybe you could hire, quote unquote, us to do it, and that will look good for you.
Make a persuasion check.
Can Zeke do it?
I don't know, Zeke, how do you want to pitch it?
I mean, I guess not to make it sound the. Hold on, gentlemen. Excuse me.
Hmm. I'm just gonna be real with you. That bee wants to fuck Yarver.
What? She'd clutch her pearls so hard she would strangle herself.
Oh, ow. Yeah. I'm here now. Oh, goodness.
You alright?
I just
Alright.
experienced. I just experienced such a sharp pain in my mouth, and I was like, could not tell you why. Ah, God, it hurt. But anyway, I'm all right now. So, as he was going to say, it's just like, I mean, well, I realize we did just come to town, but it could look good if you hired us and said that we were here on good faith in behalf of the other 10 towns, that we were going to try and solve a lot of your issues.
Also,
Alright,
we're
so
really really good at hunting and killing things.
Advantage.
Alright, so here's how this is gonna go.
Yeah.
Ezekiel, the DC you need to beat is a 15.
Okay.
If you roll in between 10 to 14, she'll try and figure out a way to meet you halfway. If you fail by more than 5, she will outright refuse.
Okay. All right.
Like-
So, just be better.
So I said we're assisting him for sure to give him advantage, and I'm gonna cast a guidance on him.
Alright, so
Alrighty.
roll your guidance first.
Okay. 3.
Alright, so
Another-
3.
Another 3. All right.
Alright,
So,
obviously, go right ahead.
okay.
Persuasion.
Baby! It wasn't even hard at all. 15. I could do it with disadvantage and still be amazing.
Damn.
Alright, so, Ezekiel, on a 28 persuasion, she will look to you all and say, I mean, if you're talking about me hiring you all, I feel like I should actually hire you all.
Yeah, just like, and he says this like trying to like be as calm and as considerate as possible, and it's just like, just whatever you do, don't think of it more so as cheating as so much as stacking the deck in your favor.
It's not.
So-
This is not stacking or cheating. This is very much a political stunt. It's a political move that you're doing for the betterment of Goodmead.
And also, maybe you could get your friends to help you campaign and just, talk with everyone.
I mean, a lot of us have been hearing that you're a bit of a socialite. I feel as though since you've been here longer than Shandor, maybe just talk with people. Let them know that you're genuinely concerned that good mead is going to lose what it made itself what it is.
Invite them
Oh.
to tea.
I
Have a
know.
tea party.
I was like, you could make the town cookies. And he says so with the most earnest smile, thinking that is actually gonna work. Like, cookies?
With a 28 persuasion, I will go ahead and say, you know what? While I do have reservations about trying to counter a political stunt with another political stunt,
It's the name of the game, baby.
I don't think cookies won't hurt either.
He claps his hands. Yes, she gets it. Cookies.
Although, I will say, if you're going to counter this stunt, I do have one thing that I would request from you all.
And that is?
I understand that you are on business, or at least you are here on, the good graces of Bryn Shander and the other 10 towns. We're not as bad as Dogan's Hole in terms of how isolated we are, but we're still not much better than them. So, seeing if you make it known that you are here because the other 10 towns are trying to get together, I don't know how that's going to come across to the others. Just make it seem like, good mead is getting strong-armed by the other, more powerful 10 towns. So, if you're going to do this, I would request that you do everything in your power to not mention the other 10 towns as coming together. Leave that for me to take care of once I get elected, if this works.
Oh, miss. Hiding secrets is actually in my job description.
I've only talked to the bees, so you're good. and Yarver, but I haven't told him about the 10 towns.
I see. Well, in that case, and she'll go ahead and actually reach into her pocket and put in all of your hands a single gold piece, and then get close and whisper and say, Consider yourselves hired then. You'll get more of this if you succeed.
Pulls a little
Hooray!
penny out of her little
Yeah, like
coin
basically
purse.
like a symbolic gesture.
Yeah.
Oh god,
Wow.
I can smell the cough drops and hard candy.
Can it be butterscotch? I actually like butterscotch flavor.
We do have 2 other companions that are at the inn. We'll be sure to inform them about everything we've discussed here today.
Oh, well, go ahead and let them know about what I thought and also what I requested too, especially that part. And
Yeah.
the rest, I guess I will leave up to you. I'm not an adventurer. I don't know how this whole thing works.
Well, you pay us and we go do things. That's essentially it.
And you already got the first part down, so we're gonna go do things.
All right, well, I wish you all luck then.
Thank you.
Meanwhile,
for your
yeah.
time. Have a good evening.
Oh, well, before you go, how about you be the first ones to sample the cookies?
Cookies.
Have a great time.
All 3 of us are like, yay!
I usually do this as a hobby, but if you're getting me all fired up to be political, I might as well keep the snowball going.
Yeah.
We help her with her cookie recipe.
Pretty much, yeah.
She helps make like sugar cookies and fucking Nick is like, you know what would be really good with these? A little baked in goodberry in the center.
She looks over to you, dead look in your eye, and go, I mean, sure, sure, why not?
The good berry propaganda continues.
You got
God.
me.
Now,
Jeez,
literally,
damn.
Goodberry propaganda.
I thought she was about to go off on him for even suggesting that. You got me so hard.
I had to bait and switch, yeah.
Alonzo makes sure he eats one of those cookies first and says it's disgusting.
Lord.
Would absolutely
Lord.
slap you for that.
Raisins, why?
I'll have you know, raisin cookies are very good.
Guys, the enemy is over there.
That's the enemies over there.
But no, it
God,
wouldn't be raisins. It'd be like a cherry. Like
Yeah, I
a little
know.
machino cherry and those little sugar cookies. And they're so soft and pillowy.
Yeah, it's like it's the soft kind of cookies, right? Yeah,
Meanwhile,
Sorry.
meanwhile, Oral unironically wants like raisins in a freaking cinnamon bun or some shit.
So, I will go ahead and say we'll cut
My
there and move back over to Merkin and Embers.
Darn.
Merkin, currently right now, because you were clear to get some rest, you are currently sleeping. I'll get to you in a second, but for now,
no
I would
hurry.
like for you to go ahead and roll me a D100.
Honk shoe, honk shoe, honk shoe.
45.
Alright,
Wake up
so-
and mute. No.
So, Merkin, high or low?
Hi.
Alright, so high. You want me to roll higher than your 45.
Oh.
And I will reveal it to you later.
No!
No.
Evil.
No.
Masterfully
Okay.
done.
Alright, good to know. So, Embers, what are you doing in the meantime to sort of like look after him?
He's doing what he knows for general first aid when someone's feeling sick. So he's like checking his temperature. He's making sure he's got fresh water. He's kind of using prestidigitation to help him keep cool. If he starts getting a fever, he's using his magic to keep the soup hot, that kind of thing.
Merkin, as you sort of like examine him, check his temperature, keep him warm and all that, he has like a strangely unnatural cold tint to his body. Like, in fact, go ahead and roll me I'm gonna say Arcana check?
Oh boy. Finally a character that I made that has Arcana gets to use it.
Does Dev not have it?
Firefox won't die. No. He doesn't know shit about magic, he just knows he has it.
It's like, well, how does your magic work? I don't fucking
the
know.
most
I'll
sorcerer to ever sorcerer.
Why does the
Um,
butterfly fly? Get off my fucking dick.
Pay
Or,
for
you
it.
know, get on it, but only if you give me 50 gold.
Only if you pay for it.
But yeah, 17. Embers, your particular inner power, your inner magical source, has definitely changed your body in certain ways. The most obvious one being, you know, your sort of like passive aura of warmth. As you examine Merkin and touch his skin and realize that there's sort of like a unnatural coldness to it, you realize that to an extent, Merkin's entire form is somewhat enchanted. I'll say, with the 17, you don't get the feeling that this is like a bloodline thing. You think that this is sort of like a combination of like residual magic from being exposed to something, as well as other extenuating circumstances that might have affected Merkin that he may or may not know about. But generally
just-
speaking, he seems to be okay.
Embers does not vocalize this, but he can't help but wonder if somebody cursed Merkin.
As you are, taking care of Merkin, you actually see his spellbook Cipher, sort of like, come out of the robes that you took him out of, so he can, tuck you into bed properly. Sort of like detach itself from the holster, and sort of like float over to you both and say, "Um, is he gonna be okay?"
Well, his condition is stable, especially after I essentially shared some of my own life force. Really nothing
Yeah,
for it.
are you still hurt, by the way? You look a little under the weather, a little bit yourself.
I'll walk it off. What was more important was making sure that he wasn't going to succumb at that time.
Hmm.
For now, he just needs to be getting good rest and eating good food, which is why I'm making sure that this good soup that we prepared is going back into his body.
While he's asleep?
No, not while he's asleep, but I have to make it hot for him so it's more digestible when he wakes up. I know some people really hate soup. It's kind of childish, really.
I mean, I can't eat food, so I can't really judge, but I've heard that somewhere.
Look,
I don't
that was
know
probably
how.
insensitive. I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, there isn't really any feelings. I'm still an inanimate object at the end of the day.
How long has Merkin been like this? Is this the first time he's had an epidemic like this?
It's the first that my current memory has recorded. I was only activated again about a few weeks ago.
This is the first time I've actually seen a scribe wizard this close and personal before. I didn't know you spellbooks had so much personality.
Well, this is the default personality. Unfortunately, he doesn't remember how to decipher the cipher in the pages, and so he can't really set me back to whatever preferred settings he had. So, this is how I am right now. He did tweak a few settings when he was adding spells into me, though.
How utterly peculiar.
Were you, if you have any more questions, I'm happy to ask. I haven't had my permissions to keep quiet turned off.
Well, as much as I would like to know more, asking about sensitive things like this would be a bit inappropriate if he's not conscious. So, I guess I'll just keep it... Oh, okay. I have his somnophilic blessing, I guess.
I would say more somnescent, but that works too.
Somnescence.
I meant what I said. So, how long exactly... What's the earliest thing you can remember? Do you know how long you've been stuck in the Icewind Dale?
That, unfortunately, I cannot answer. As I said, I pretty much was activated again about 2 weeks ago when he was able to decipher the barest minimum of the cipher that he wrote, which unfortunately he cannot remember right now and is in the process of trying to remember it all.
I feel like at this rate it'd be easier to ask what you don't remember.
What you don't see
That seems
is...
like a logical fallacy, I'm afraid.
That was kind of my point.
My original designation was Merkin, but he decided to take that name, and so he renamed me to Cipher.
Well, I do recall that, at least. It makes sense. It's concise and cute. Which does seem to be a lot of what you're like.
I mean, it's sort of a subjective thing, but am glad that I am considered adorable by the people who command me.
I'm
I
submissive
wondered.
and not breedable, unfortunately.
Yeah, it seems
I'm
like it'd be pretty
submissive but
good
not
to keep
breedable
it up.
because I
Yeah.
don't have people for that.
The first part is true by design.
Oh
We're still working on the second one.
no!
That would
Would
require
you
very high level magic that he unfortunately has lost access to.
would you mind, Cypher, if I went inside you?
May I ask for some more clarification of that matter?
I want to look inside you, see how much of what's hidden within you I can actually understand. I might actually be able to glean something.
You may certainly try, but I'm afraid that my master was the one who created the cipher. He's the only one who would be able to understand it remotely, but I will not stop you from reading.
Come now, I know I'm not a wizard, but I can at least understand a little bit of the magic language. I had proper teaching.
Okay.
You see, yeah?
What did I miss? Sorry, I disconnected.
Embers is about to attempt to try and read, cipher.
Ooh, do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see, cipher sort of like, go upright and, open the pages, and Embers, immediately you see, like, a plethora of, like, different runes from, like, a ton of different languages, sort of, like, mishmash together. Remind me, what are your known languages?
That's a good question.
What, Eggman?
His known languages are common and primordial.
All right. And remind me, again, Merkin, what were the languages that Merkin knew?
Let me have a look, actually, because I think it's common or primordial.
Okay, so already immediately, Merkin, you can see some like trace amounts of primordial runes interspersed with other different languages.
Yeah.
See
I
the
would
things
like
can
for you,
read. Go
yeah.
ahead, sorry.
I would like for you to go ahead and roll me a D100.
Oh boy. Now it's my turn to get comatose.
Oh no. Let's hope not.
31.
All right, so high or low?
Low.
All right, you want me to roll lower than 31?
Yes.
Oh no.
So, how do you try to like read it, or at least try to interact with the book?
I think what he's actively doing is, while taking care to control how much heat he exudes, he is tracing his middle, index, and ring fingers along the notes, kind of like a bracer, so he can keep track of where he's reading. Kind of trying to
Yeah.
not only read it, but also feel the magic inscribed in the runes.
Okay. So you're trying to like attune to it from a raw, like primal magical point of view to see if that does something, right?
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, so you sort of like trace the runes, and by virtue of you being a sorcerer, you just exude magic naturally. So as you sort of like trace your fingers along the runes to see like anything that could happen, you trace your fingers along one rune in particular, and you see it begin to like glow like a very bright purplish pink. And as soon as you do that, I would like for you to go ahead and let me see here. Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy. Somehow I'm actually proficient in these.
So let me see here. Okay, so meets and beats. So Let me just go ahead and roll something real quick.
You take 28 points of necrotic damage.
Oh,
All right,
Jesus,
so-
I hope not.
You see Cypher just sort of like go, as you're like tracing the rune, you go ahead and all of a sudden you hear like Cypher go stiff, and its voice change and say, Please specify the required password for accessing this page.
Oh. Passwords.
You have entered the word password.
Oh shit.
That
Oh,
word is incorrect. And all of a sudden, this wave of like, just almost like a gust of wind just sort of like pushes straight into you and almost knocks you backwards 15 feet. But you do successfully succeed. You take 4 points of thunder damage, which was reduced to half to 8.
Ow.
And you stay where you are as you somehow manage to like stay upright. And then as soon as the wave is over, you hear like a boop, boop, beep, boop, 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 noise from a Cypher as there is a very obvious error, and you see the page that you traced the rune on sort of like sort of like decipher itself, and you see a listing for the spell Thunderwave.
Oh.
How convenient.
Congratulations, Embers. You had failed successfully. As now,
Mason failed successfully.
as without Merkin even realizing it, he now knows Thunderwave.
Oh,
Cool. So happy to be helpful.
And you hear go, "Boop, boop, boop. Ah, sorry, I wasn't myself. What happened?
I tried to read you. You did what I can only describe as a complete personality shift, and you asked me for a password. And when I complained about it, it took that as me trying to answer the password, and then I blew up.
Oh, um, sorry. You may or may not have accidentally tried to access something in a way that would go beyond the specified permissions, and only my master would know what any of the passwords are, and he doesn't remember any of them, so you probably turned on a self-defense sequence.
No kidding.
So, just real quick, above table, would that whole exchange have been loud enough for Merkin to wake up, do you think, or no?
I will say yes, but before we go anything from there, Merkin, I would like for you to go ahead and describe to me what you would imagine Merkin would be dreaming about.
Oh boy. Put this in my hands, why don't you?
Gladly.
That sounds about right.
Just whatever comes to mind.
Yeah, he's I want to say that like his brain is kind of like gone on autopilot a little bit and is trying to at least like process to a healthier degree, I guess, this whole thing with Grulon. Just like, okay, let's try to piece this shit together again. Slowly this time.
All right, so going back to that D100, you asked you are looking for me to roll higher than 45. I rolled 71.
Ooh.
So, Merkin, your brain is still very hazy and sort of like shattered. So like you have pieces of like a jigsaw puzzle, but you haven't really figured out how they piece together essentially, and so everything is just sort of like fragmented.
Yeah.
you find yourself sort of like secluded alone in sort of like a study, sort of like writing a paper, or not writing a paper, writing a letter, but like everything is so foggy that you're not really able to like read the text. So, you are obviously you see yourself like writing a letter, uh but you can't read any of the text. But the one thing that you do see is you finish up the letter, fold it, put it in an envelope, and you take like a wax sealer and you know, stamp it down, and you see a certain image that I will go ahead, for the sake of transparency with the whole group, I will go ahead and post that image here. Or at least, or rather, I'm going to screen cap it so that there's no URL spoilers.
Uh-huh.
So,
Good idea.
there you go.
Excuse me if y'all can hear it. Oh.
You stamp that into the envelope.
Oh.
And
feel like-
as you are, yeah,
I feel like we may have touched on this before, actually, but go on.
potentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you are stamping the letter, go ahead and or actually not yet. You hear a
Okay.
knock on the door of the little study that you're in. What do you do?
I mean, that depends. I'm actually no. I guess like I wouldn't be in the viewpoint of No, because like I'm witnessing this. I'm not like
You're
taking
in
part
first
in it.
person, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm witnessing this, not taking part in it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, Merkin is probably gonna try to like either interact with the door in some way, or you know, maybe try to like peek at who's maybe trying to get in. Hello.
Well, there isn't really like a thing that you could look through. You actually see yourself sort of like giving a knock back in response, and then the person beyond the door just sort of like knocks back in turn. You quickly realize that this is sort of like a secret code.
Yeah.
And you see yourself sort of like open the door, and beyond the door is, it's strange. You know that you are speaking to like some kind of humanoid figure, and one that is sort of like a head shorter than you, because you are at the end of the day pretty damn big.
Yeah.
But where the face would be is like completely voided out unnaturally. Like, you know for a fact it does not look like this in reality.
Right.
You have a feeling that, you know, like your brain somehow isn't able to like piece together what this is exactly. But you know that it is a person of some kind. And in sort of like a distorted but somewhat casual voice, you say, "Did you finish sending a letter straight? Did you finish your letter to?" As the words just sort of like garble up in your mind.
God, he's an agent of YHVH.
God, no, no, no pun intended. Fuck.
What do you say?
I mean, I feel like this. I feel like there's only really so much I can do if I'm like witnessing this from like the outside.
You like, okay. Let me just specify. You are dreaming of a very fragmented memory. You are essentially like reliving this through the first person perspective. Whenever I, say, it's like whatever you say, whatever, I'm giving you some measure of autonomy during this whole thing. So you can take this whatever direction you want.
Okay, because like previous scene was under the assumption that I was like looking at it from outside, so it's like
No, this is first person, but
Just
like
imagine-
super hazy and super fragmented.
just imagining Dream Merkin was trying to be like, oh, I'll put my head through the door and see who's knocking.
No.
I know. Just it's funny to think about in hindsight. Just
But yeah,
that-
what do you say?
So he was talking about a letter. And I'm like, he kind of furrows his brow for a moment and it's just, I think so.
Well, I would hope so. You wouldn't want to keep Archmage Merkin waiting on that report.
He blinks a little.
You see this like voided out figure just sort of like shrug and give a bit of a laugh, and he goes, "Come on, I know you're old, but not that old."
Ugh. Forgive me, it feels it's taken its toll today.
Yeah, I can see how. The ice here is terrible. And you notice, you look out and the window, and it's just nothing but sort of like the beginnings of winter. But it is not like, you quickly notice that it's not Icewind Dale. It is right outside, like in between, like you could see sort of like the mountains of the spine of the world in the background. So you're not in Icewind Dale. You're right outside the path that you would take to get into it.
Yeah.
So it's still cold.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a thing.
Yeah. So, if you don't mind me asking, and granted, I know that this is your idea and whatnot, but you really sure we have to do that on top of that? And you see that, through very sort of like very blurry motions, he sort of like motions what you think are his hands towards sort of like his chest and stomach area.
Oh. Can I roll something to like get a bit of a clearer idea on how to like
Make an intelligence check with disadvantage.
Okay. Alright, yeah, I had to close my sheet to like add Thunderwave. I don't know why I reclosed it. Close with that boom, boom. Intelligence check with disadvantage, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, 21.
Oh.
What was it that you were trying to do?
Alright, so so he can like get the obvious implication of like, but it's like I guess like future Merkin is kind of trying to discern like where past Merkin is going with this, I guess. Like
Okay, so I will say with that 21, as you are sort of like trying to like somehow concentrate in your dream, you sort of like unblur this figure's hands, and you see that he's sort of like insinuating the chest area and the crotch area.
Oh. Okay. That was not where I was going at all. But yeah, that's fine.
I understand it'll be helpful for us to blend in, but surely they take men, right?
No. It's complicated.
Fine, you're the expert on this.
Goddamn right I am. Above table.
As you say that, this figure, for the briefest of moments, you see like the face, like almost kind of like frame one. You see an inkling of a face make its way through the blurriness. Make a perception with a disadvantage.
Alrighty. I'm not as good at this as Crude as is
9. You see a very verdant green face on him without much tusk, but you don't get a chance to examine any further than that. And as you say, damn right, you do. For a brief moment, you hear him say, "You don't have to rub it in, Dad." And as soon as you hear that sentence, you feel sort of like reality around you begin to sort of like collapse around you. And a blinding light sort of hit you, and then you're awake.
He's daddy.
He's my son.
Merkin, Embers, you see Merkin sort of like wake up and goes, "He's my son."
Who's your son?
No, Well, okay, hold on. Laying back down.
Going back to sleep. I'm not dealing with this.
No.
Imagine, actually imagine.
No, shut the
no,
fuck up. I need to go back to sleep.
Go back to sleep and starve.
He lays back down, but like not enough to like be comfortable to sleep. He's just kind of holding his head like, right. I forgot to mention. So what are you two doing?
You see Cypher speak up and say, you will see Cypher speak up and say, "Master, your new friend attempted to decipher the cipher that you created and may have accidentally activated a self-defense protocol. He might have gotten a little bit hurt, but he may have triggered an error that unlocked the spell anyway." As you can see, he's still on the new page that he revealed.
As much as he kind of wants to nod and go, "Good going, Embers," but he also is like, "Are you all right?"
Yeah, I'm fine.
Are you sure that's the second time you put yourself in harm's way for my sake today? Please.
Worse things have blown me into walls. This is simply the price to pay.
Silly question. It's still the same day, isn't it?
Yes.
It's been about an hour or two, so you haven't had like a
Yeah.
long rest yet.
Yeah, no. He was asking that in character too, just in case he had been out for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long has he been out, Mr. DM?
Well, it's about like 2 hours. He sort of like got jostled awake immediately, so he still feels like very tired and out of it a little bit. So again, the only way this point of exhaustion goes away is if he has a full-blown long rest.
Yeah. So, quick question above table. The password that Merkin got earlier, the one that was like for sending, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a password just tied to that, like specifically? Was that like I forget what was like in the notes for that, I guess.
I would say that it's becoming clearer and clearer to you now that whenever you would have made the cipher, you made an unbelievable amount of like checks and fail saves for your spell book.
Oh,
Like
okay.
you took an unbelievable amount of anything in your spell book. So if you had to guess, it's a different password for every spell.
Oh, okay. Damn.
You're not one of those
When you're
people
too
that
good at your job.
you
Too good
specialize
at
in
my job,
cybersecurity, so you ended up making a cipher that makes a constantly changing password, and then you forgot the key.
Yeah, you're a techie.
Hmm.
It's a kid.
Then yeah, I will kind of fill Embers in on like the details of like, you know, how he ended up like passed out in the snow. Like it was remembering that name, and then the dream he just had just now about his baby boy.
Those are some pretty intense deeds.
Yeah, and also just things that I won't mention because I actually kind of want to break a streak today,
Mm-hmm.
or that I won't mention by name.
Press X to doubt.
I feel like for that,
God.
it's absolutely worth bringing that up because that's super powerful. Also, because Happy Pride.
Yeah, fair.
And also,
Never be
it's sort of
ashamed.
plot relevant now.
Yeah. Oh God, it really is, isn't it?
Always remember, everyone out there who truly does watch these and enjoys them, you are valid, you are recognized, you are seen.
Yeah,
Wow.
for sure.
Especially here.
Yes.
Here, have a brick.
Oh right, for the oppressors, we throw the brick at them.
Yes.
Stone wall.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did not understand, but anyway. Yeah, yeah, copy. Just because, you know, it's relevant now. We can probably show it on Picardo, but it'll have to be censored for YouTube. But, you know,
You can just
Yeah.
say you transitioned.
a reminder that this is how he looked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, also, yes, Jesse, that's a
Hmm.
perfect way to describe what I was trying to go for.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can go ahead and continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think you're both
Chris?
trying to look out for each other here. Oh,
Right.
I can't help but be a little surprised. I mean, I knew you weren't young, but I didn't think you were that age.
At this point, I don't even know anymore. Also, just above table, real quick, just so I remember correctly,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not just like potentially shutting off a plot hook.
Mm-hmm.
So in that first memory, did Merkin like get the impression at all that it might be like a bad idea to try to contact Grulon?
So, when you say first memory, are you talking about all the stuff that you saw in your seizure?
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't get the impression that it was like a bad idea to do this so much as it was like you finally got like some kind of clue related to your amnesia, and it was like your brain processing all of that at once to try
Right.
and fix itself, and that's why you had that really violent seizure.
Right. What I meant though was Merkin has sending now, and
Oh,
both-
okay.
yeah. Just
I'll tell you this. In terms of like how in terms of like whether or not you think it is a good idea, you never really got an impression.
okay.
But I will say, if you do try to like do ascending,
Mm-hmm.
I will say you want to think very long and hard about whether or not you want to do this, because this is like,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying like this is like a DM giving you like a brick wall on here. It's more
Right.
so like you're fast forwarding through your plot sort of like thing,
Yeah.
and this may or may not have consequences, so think very wisely
Yeah.
about it, sort of a thing.
It's a.
Point of no
It's
return.
the.
Exactly.
Sorry, go
It's
ahead,
the-
Will.
It's the several cutscenes will play in sequence button.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, and while Merkin is currently trying to sleep off a point of exhaustion, probably not a good idea right now. He's had enough today.
Like, I'm not stopping you from doing
yeah,
it.
for
I'm
sure.
just saying,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
for sure.
do this,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, an option is available, but please consider it carefully.
Yes. You have a name, you have an inkling of a face, so it is possible for you to cast Sending on Grulon.
Yes. Meanwhile, Merkin is also just of a mind of, if I try that, is that going to put us or him or others in danger?
Also, I have had sex. Score.
God damn it.
It's proof that I had it.
Yes. But it is also proof that Merkin did not, in fact, for him. Not physically, anyway.
You were spared the horrors of child labor.
Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah. But. Oh, no. John, what have you done to me? Bussy type, bussy clean, bussy fresh.
Oh my god.
Pussy, pretty pussy, fat, full of flesh.
God.
I
we're
have,
back.
I have some
Yeah.
impressive friends, don't I?
Yes.
It is around this point that
Okay.
the other three come back, sort of like knock on the door of your inn room where you are trying to sleep.
Yeah.
We have cookies.
Yep.
Hello.
You
Better not have
actually
good berries
notice
in
that
there.
you do see some very familiarly colored, like looking raisins inside of them.
As Zeke
kind
walks
of-
in, Zeke walks in with 3 cookies in his mouth.
Oh, hey, welcome back.
Merkin sees the raisins, does the slow head turn towards Nick.
We have other ones too.
Thank you. Thank you, Alonso. You read my mind.
Do a
Slap the
snickerdoodle.
cookie onto the floor.
No! I gust you away.
Oh God!
Catch it with mage hand.
Boys, don't fight. I have a very splitting headache from piecing together my past.
Aw.
I'm
Did
not
you-
the one today.
God, don't throw it on the floor!
Did you figure
Is
something out?
that a proper phrase to use, by the way? I have no idea
What?
about the character.
What was it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I was
Alright.
hoping at least someone heard it so I wouldn't have to repeat it if it did turn out to be, like, not the appropriate phrase to use. Anyway,
Cookie.
yeah, cookie.
They're really good. All of us made them. We helped test them.
And you're also nourished for 8 hours.
Hooray. Wait.
Well, it's a good thing we're going
Wait.
to bed and have a long rest.
Wait. Wait. You poisoned me.
Yeah.
You poisoned me. How could you?
I said we
Roll a
had
con save to throw it up.
No.
I said we probably made some other ones too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the one I took.
Oh no!
No offense to Nick. I want actual food, please.
It is actual
Damn.
food. Fuck you.
I've had a fucking day today, Nick. You just kind of. Sorry.
Merkin is just eating like soup and cookies.
Yes, I've had a day. I've had a seizure. I've taken a point of exhaustion. That doesn't mean anything to any of you here, but don't worry about it.
Zeke was gonna like, what's a point of exhaustion?
He's metagaming again. He
It's
needs to go back to bed.
He's trying.
no. It's a weird scholarly way to quantify how exhausted a person is. You can go from
What?
1 to
You
5,
see,
and at 6, you were just gone.
you see Cypher speak up and say, there are also other systems made from wizardly circles, such as the idea of spell slots.
Zeke is just so confused. He's like, "Boss man, do you have to go through these things? Do you
No.
get points of exhaustion? Do you have spell slots?"
No, I just kind of do shit.
Cypher will speak up. Theoretically, even for non-wizards, there would exist some sort of spell slot system, albeit at a much lower level, since they are not ones that would study magic on the regular. The
It's
only
like-
exception would be for those who would be known as sorcerer, and then it's like, you could just imagine Merkin being like, okay, chill out.
Like,
Zeke
thank
looks over
thank
his
you for the
hands.
insight, Cypher. However, I think we all need to rest.
Zeke looks over his hands, and then he just makes the stupid wiggles that you see in cartoons, like. Whoop, 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 whoop. Am I doing magic? Is this magic?
Mm-hmm.
Not
The
not
magic of
necessarily,
dance.
but not necessarily, but I could teach you some if you like. We'd have to start simple, and also I need to rest.
Aw, you mean I can't just blow things up?
No, that actually takes quite a lot of effort, even for me.
Cypher speaks up and says, contrary to popular belief, but blowing things up is not the very first thing taught in wizarding schools.
No, because you need to have much finer control of the arcane arts than just that.
Zeke goes
Having
into a
that
corner.
be the having that be the first thing you learn is like trying to run a marathon when you've just learned to walk. Or no,
Zeke-
better yet, when you've just learned to stand.
Zeke will go into a corner, and somehow, some way, Nick and Alonso will see that there are these weird magical lines that are wibble wobbling across like above Zeke's head. Like,
Oh no.
The arcane trickster route.
Well, that's
He-
the thing too, is that he didn't even go arcane trickster. He went swashbuckler. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I do indeed be a swashbuckler, but
Yeah.
it's still in character. Oh.
Yeah. Reclassing is still an option though, if it piques your fancy.
Yeah,
But yeah.
but it's whatever. You know?
But for now, yeah, swashbuckle. Swash.
In the corner. In the
Squash those
corner.
buckles.
Yeah. Swash those goddamn buckles.
I'll swatch your buckle.
My,
my.
Let's watch those
my,
John
my
Arbuckle.
2-second dream of doing magic and blowing things up has been ruined, and forever my,
Second dream.
my day is gone. Sadness. And suddenly, for whatever reason, only Nick and Alonso can suddenly see a weird rain cloud forming over Ezekiel as he's just.
So yeah, you're all back together. What is it that you all do?
I think for
So-
now, we have made decisions that we're probably going to go hunt that giant lad that stole from this town. If we can get supplies back into the city, it would be a lot better off. Plus,
And also
oh, sorry.
stop the. We also may have to stop the. If it's still going, the potential plan to make Shandar look good in the town's eyes. Right?
What's a
Oh,
wizarding
right.
opinion that'll get
That
you
is-
locked up like this?
That's
Fireball is such a caveman.
John?
we can hear.
Sorry. There we go. I wanted to mute that, but then my browser went crazy.
Gotcha.
We probably do need to do that. They're probably doing it somewhat tonight, so someone's going to have to stay in the bar, and I guess I have to stay there all night and make sure that trouble doesn't happen.
Zeke is immediately going to walk towards Nick, and it's just like, boss man, I know what you're thinking. We've done this song and dance several times, and you know for a fact it can't be you.
Why not?
Because you enjoy drinking too much. And also, who won the not get drunk competition back in Karakonig?
I don't have a problem. You have a problem.
If my problem is winning, then
You-
yeah, I have a problem.
Nick, if I may weigh in, yes. Nick, if I may weigh in, you have several problems, but drinking is not the one I'm actually focused on right now.
I feel so
Damn.
called out. Did I do something to you all? Like,
No.
you
No,
keep
no, we
bashing
love
my
you too
good
much for
berries.
that.
You keep saying I have a drinking problem. Like,
I didn't say you had a drinking problem. I said you had other problems.
I'm just feeling very attacked lately.
Oh, poor baby. Come here.
Man, you know for a fact I'm the last person who would ever think to attack you, and that version of me doesn't even exist in this world.
Wait, were they planning that event tonight? Even especially since we stopped the guys on the road and also you intimidated one.
They'd be dumb if they tried it now. I mean, I'm pretty sure that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them are not going to participate. So unless they have a whole gang still hiding somewhere here in the town. I mean, Ember did see that one lad that was,
Well, even if they do something tonight, stopping a bar brawl is one thing. Actually, avenging the late speaker, returning the supplies that were stolen, bringing the culprit to justice is quite a few steps up, I believe.
even so. I think let's cover as many bases as possible.
Are we in the inn that would be where the tavern would be, right, by the way?
Yeah, you're currently in the inn right here. The tavern is over here.
They're
Oh.
not synonymous. Okay, gotcha.
Well, we could take shifts.
I nominate Embers and I go and check just to see. Since Embers has his cat-like eyes, he can spot anything else that I can't, and I can use my echolocation to see things that he can't.
I can force my pupils to dilate.
Is that healthy?
No.
Oh. God, Alonzo would look fucking real weird with his pupils all dilated.
It's
It's
like
a good thing he's not a cat shifter.
everyone knows owls are just flying cats.
They're birds with cat software.
I mean,
they
where's the
really,
lie?
they really do.
That's the thing I always hear, yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
Ezekiel has spoken, and he has nominated the cat and the bat.
I agree.
Alright, we'll take the shift over to watch Merkin then. But if anything happens, you let us know. We'll all come help.
I'll send the signal.
Just
How
make a
will you
loud
do
noise and I'll be down before anyone can even pull out a dagger.
I'm counting on it. And because I trust you so much, he steadily walks over to Nick and he bends down so that they're looking face to face. Now, I'm counting on you to make sure Merkin gets some good rest and gets some food in his system. And if I come back and I see that that soup isn't fully eaten, and you've just been giving him good berries, and as he's saying this, he's like trailing a claw tip down his ear towards his chin, I will make sure that when we have a party and I can make everybody food, good berries are the only thing you'll be eating. Am I understood?
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Just thinking those exact words were gonna come out of his mouth.
Honey, I haven't even begun to give you a good time yet.
He always been this bold as Alonzo like tugs at his short collar like fuck.
Why is everyone trying to have sex with my boss?
Because he's hot.
He is very handsome, I will admit.
The stash is all I need.
But your
Mm.
mohawk is good too.
I mean,
Yeah, oddly enough, the stash is not what does it for me.
What is it that does it for you?
That's a secret.
Oh, is it the gauges in his ears?
No.
Oh.
Maybe.
no, air on the sky points to them. Maybe.
Anyway, I think Ezekiel and I have some reconnaissance to do. Isn't that right, Ezekiel? And then he leans on your shoulder.
Absolutely. Let's get going, Ezekiel says as he leaves the inn the most unconventional way possible by crawling along the ceiling.
Why-
just casually.
It's just crawling out like near Wendigo style. It's like, all right, let's go greet the day.
It's less than 3 feet down. Why would?
It's a bat thing. You wouldn't understand. Anyway.
I guess not. Anyway,
It's about sending a message.
Absolutely.
Simeon looks down and it's like, so I don't hate the spell good berries, but
Look, I know I keep
So just-
saying this, but like, you guys gotta remember,
yeah,
people don't have food here.
we've literally gotten food at every single inn we've been at.
No, I mean, it's not all reserves. This town itself is in trouble because their reserves were stolen.
Yeah, and we're gonna fix it.
Look, I'm just saying, we should not take food from the place that is already like 2 winters deep without having a single crop like harvest.
To give you an idea, just to follow up on that, by the way, based on your talks from the townsfolk, you remember the order of sacrifices. They most prefer people. If they can't offer that, they would rather sacrifice food. And if they can't offer either, it's warmth. Right now, good mead is sacrificing warmth. So, people and food are pretty precious commodities right now. So yeah.
So good. I also just wanted to fade to black with that sentence, but
Yeah, exactly.
Ezekiel
yeah.
crawls back into frame. As Nick will remind you, his good berries are good.
They
yes,
are.
I agree. His good berries are good, but part of the things that you enjoy about life are the flavors, the differences, experiencing new things.
Above
Can't do that
table,
if you just have good berries all the time.
above table, it fades to black on Alonso and Nick, and it reconvenes to us talking about the good berries, and it's just
Yes.
oh, believe
like-
me, I'm with you 110%. I really like just eating so many different things. But, you know, Bossman and I have been in the situation where we've basically had to go buy on absolutely nothing more often than not, and with him knowing Goodberry, I'm not gonna say it's my favorite thing in the world, but I've come to appreciate them.
What?
So at this point, you cross the street and head inside the tavern again.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm really just teasing him about it. I don't mind good berries that much.
I forget who's watching Merkin right now. It's Nick, right?
Yeah.
Nick and Alonso. Nick and
Oh.
Alonso.
Oh, okay.
If we left Nick to just do it by himself, you may just die.
Lol. I
What?
will say though then that like while that discussion is happening, they're like coincidentally having a similar discussion, just being like, well, listen, I understand that Goodberry is good. It has a very, very sorry, the word escaped me above table.
Apparent, obvious, glaring taste, I'm guessing?
No.
Consistency?
Preference?
Hang on. I think we're getting
Because if it's feel, then the word you're looking for is consistent.
Let's just give him a minute.
something to describe use or That's a very valid use. There we go. Just
That works.
I would say it is good to have on standby if they are willing to let us partake of actual food. If they are willing, like if they're offering it to us and we are doing things to help them, then why not? We can help them out in some other way so that it's a drop in the bucket comparatively. Meanwhile, if we find ourselves in a situation where that's not an option for them or for us, then yes, Goodberry.
Well,
This does that sound fair?
It's fine.
I know.
And as Embers and Ezekiel are making their way into the tavern, and is like, we were also trying to workshop a name for our little group.
Icewind Braves.
Yeah, Boss Man has been trying to think of one for a while, but I've been tossing my head around to think of some as well.
Oh, like every good adventuring party. I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to make one of those up for so long.
Yeah, I had tried to make. I had tried. It was in jest, of course, but I had thought to call ourselves the Goodberries, but Lonnie pushed me off into a snow mound when I suggested that.
That does seem like, from how much I know of him, that he would not enjoy it very much. I'll see if I can come up with anything that's worth remembering. I've had a couple before zooming around in my head, but nothing I've been happy with yet.
as you were talking about this, you once again sort of like re-enter the tavern. There is the beginnings of an actual dinner rush. So like actual like dinner times around this this local tavern before the actual like nightly drinking would happen. What is it that you all do?
Zeke is going to try and scan the room to see where the most chatter is coming from at this moment in time. Like where the conversation is being congregated to the most.
I would like to also whisper in his ear, be on the lookout, by the way. This was the tavern that I found the cloaked individual. They might be on the lookout for me again and acting suspiciously.
All right. I'll say in that case, go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Oh god, intelligence. Why am I so dumb? I am
All
very
right,
dumb.
it's 10.
And you know what? You're right. It's double digits. Honestly, after the night I've been having, double digits is more than I can ask for.
I'll say with a 10 in investigation, you hear sort of the musings and idle gossips during dinner time. Natural one. I'll actually lay up this one over to you, Chris. How does this natural one occur?
Pick your own
Oh
grave.
boy.
Pick your own grave. No.
Well, it's like, how would you get distracted by this?
You trip and fall on aluminum foil. Above table, that's a jab at cats because aluminum foil gives cats a sensory overload.
Really?
Yeah, that is a factual thing.
Yeah,
The
you
fuck?
It's how you train your cat not to jump on the counter.
Really?
Yeah, the consistency of aluminum foil makes the and it's even from the slightest touch, by the way. It makes the cat
Wow.
experience a level of it, like sensory overload beyond what they are comfortable
Yeah.
with in any capacity.
Interesting.
Even further
Okay.
beyond.
So that was just a bit of
Okay.
that was just a bit of information. Like obviously, like in a Nat 1 situation, if he happens to trip and fall on aluminum foil, that very much would be abhorrent for him. But
Yeah.
this is how he's explaining it, not how I'm explaining it. So ignore what I just said.
Yeah.
I think he gets distracted by the Dragonborn that was
Oh.
manning the desk earlier, and then he's like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit, our date. That's right."
You actually see Shendor is no longer alone at the counter. He is sort of like sharing the rush duties with another man, a sort of like much older looking half elf who clearly looks like his boss and is, just sharing the load with him because it's very clear that like Shendor is sort of like his apprentice.
Hmm.
He does look over towards your end and visibly like blushes, or at least the Dragonborn equivalent of blushing.
Widening his eyes in an unusual stupor.
Pretty much, yeah.
I give him a wink,
Um
and at that point, somebody accidentally spills ale, and it gets in his eyes, and it starts burning.
Oh god. Jesus Christ, another instance of damage, I guess. Where's my caltrop dice?
That was
No.
the natural one. Don't make me take damage for that again.
Yeah, you take 1 point of fire damage as ALX, well, hot, just, nah, you just get meat in your eye for a second.
Ah, fuck. Where's the sink?
You see, like, a few of the patrons, hold you by the hand to, like, get you to the bathroom. Meanwhile, with a 10, for Ezekiel, I would like for you to go ahead and just counting down here. Go ahead and roll me a d12.
Whoa, that's a very interesting number. All right, rolling d12.
All right.
Quattro.
Okay.
He enters investigation mode. The borders of the world he's in narrow, and focusing on the eyes he doesn't have, everything goes black and white. It's time to get my sleuthing on.
Investigation mode activate.
Typical noir music.
Okay.
Ouch.
Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just reading up on a thing because I'm bringing up the gossip, essentially.
Oh, snap! Spill the
chitter-chatter?
tea.
I might need to dip out. I need to go to bed for work.
Yeah, don't worry,
Oh,
we're
okay.
ending soon. I'll end it with this at least. But yeah, sorry, you hear you sort of like overhear the musings of like people who are not in town but don't really like look suspicious, just sort of like talking about the local sort of like just like rumors and musings that they would have heard from just sort of like the musings that they would have heard from, being adventurers going out, hearing rumors of like things going on, jobs and other sort of things that could lead adventurers to find their fortune, which a lot of people in Icewind Dale are. And you hear a group of adventurers talking about a certain rumor that they heard. Apparently, there is an ancient white dragon that supposedly lives in Icewind Dale called and I will spell this out, but uh I'm gonna, take a stab at trying to pronounce this myself first. But you hear of a ancient white dragon supposedly named Arvea Turris, who has what you can only assume is like, according to this rumor, has some of her old hoard in an abandoned ship called the Dark Duchess. The Dark Duchess, in particular, is supposedly located right around here, where I'm pinging.
Wow. All right.
In this particular area of Icewind Dale. And I'll
Sorry.
go ahead and copy that name down there, too.
Could
Well, I
you
was very off.
ping that one more time?
Yes, right here. But yes, this is a former Luskan pirate vessel that got stuck in the Sea of Moving Ice, around where this White Dragon's territory would be. So supposedly, like, her and whatever associates that she has are hiding some of her personal hoard in that vessel.
Interesting information. All right.
But as you sort of like listen in, you don't hear anything that is like suspicious of like thieves' cant yet. You're still keeping an ear out, but you haven't heard like anything that would be like a clue.
No
and
unusual syllables.
Yeah, exactly. And no weird emphasis. So as we come to a close, both you and Ember see it at some point, but once again, you see the familiar hooded figure sort of like make his way back in. And I think we'll go ahead and end there with just him arriving back into the tavern again today.
Interesting. Twice in one day.
Twice in one day, it seems. So, we're gonna go ahead and call it here for Jesse's sake, and we'll see you next time on
Oh
Icewind Dale.
no!
Bye-bye.
Sorry. Go ahead. End the session.
All right.
Doodly doodly.
Bye, YouTube.
You two.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh no!
What happened?
What happened?
What?